there friends, if you're new to my channel, my name's Nicole and I'm here today with another 2 reviews for you in a new review roundup. Today I'm going to be talking about Evita, which just closed in London at the Phoenix Theatre but is going on an international tour, and about Kinky Boots, which is currently playing in London at the Adelphi Theatre. Part of why I wanted to talk about Evita is because it is about to embark on a international tour with the same production, even though it's got a slightly different cast, but I thought that anyone who is in a city or near a city where the tour is coming might want to hear about it. Alright, I want to start by talking about Evita. I was actually lucky enough to get a comp ticket to see it through a friend, and I was so excited because Evita is probably my favorite Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. It's tied maybe with Phantom of the Opera, but Evita was one of the first musicals that I got really into, and I think it has a brilliant score, and I also think it's a really interesting musical in terms of how political it is. I think the best thing about this production is the production itself. The sets, the design, the costumes are incredibly gorgeous. I thought that even the way that it's blocked is really cool. I think my favorite part of it actually was it opening with Eva Perón's funeral. And so you see, well, it actually opens with people who are watching a movie, and it's broken into to say that Eva Perón has passed away. And then they go into the funeral, and Perón comes in, and Che is kind of walking around. You see all these mourners coming through, and it's set up like it's in a church. And I thought that that was really cool, really effective. Overall, it's a much grittier production than I remember the US tour of Evita being. I saw it on the US tour. I can't remember who the Eva Perón was, but I know the Che was Josh Young. And I feel like this production's a bit grittier, a bit more openly political. There's a lot of scenes that kind of make statements about police brutality in Argentina at that time, about the conditions of the working class. So I thought that that was really great. As I said already, the costuming was gorgeous. I was so impressed with all of it. And I thought that they used the stage really well. The sets were really cool, and it was kind of a bit different than what I expected from it, which I really enjoyed. One of my other favorite bits was actually the use of mirrors in Rainbow High. Rainbow High is one of my favorite songs, and they used these full-length mirrors that they moved around the stage, which I thought was really cool and kind of symbolic, you know, of the fact that it is about how she is viewed. But I think that one of the interesting things in Evita is this thing that you realize that it's kind of a fight between Eva wanting to be viewed by the public really well, but also she has to come to terms with herself and how she sees herself. I think that going along with that, one of the best things about this production is the dance in it. The dance is absolutely incredible, very Latin inspired, and I really enjoyed that part of it. So I got to see Emma Hatton as Eva Perón, and she was incredible. This might sound weird, but I liked how brash she was, almost vulgar in a sense, in terms of that time period, in that you really understood in a way why the aristocratic ladies wouldn't have accepted her. So she kind of stood in a contrast to them. You often see Evitas who are very poised, very charismatic, and I liked that she was a very different kind of charismatic. She seemed in some ways to fit more with the Che than with the Perón, which I thought was really interesting. So you kind of saw that even as she's rising through all this fame and she's able to put on a bit of an air, she never loses that she's one of the people. She's loud, she's not very elegant, which, you know, despite how she's dressed, which I thought was actually really nice. So I really appreciated that, actually. I will say, though, I think that they lowered some of the music for Emma Hatton, which is interesting. There were a couple of times where I really missed the higher notes. I'm trying to think what song it was in that I really noticed it. It's when Eva is singing the, like... Okay, I have my list of the cast album now. It's in A New Argentina, when Eva's part is all of the, like, he supports you for he loves you, he's... you know, whatever, he's one of you, if not, how could he love me? They lowered that, which to me, as someone who's quite familiar with the cast album for it, felt a little bit awkward, but she still sounded great. I will say I wasn't that impressed with the Che. Alright, this is an Italian name, I believe, so I might kill it, but Gianmarco? I don't really know. I wasn't super impressed by it. I felt like he was a bit theatrical without motivation, if that makes sense. Like, that he was more motivated by his theatricality than by a character motivation. I didn't understand why they raised some of his notes. He did a bit of like, it just seemed like high-pitched screaming. So I wasn't too impressed with him. I felt like he and Ava didn't have the best chemistry. And I liked some of his choices, but then there were times where I just felt like his voice wasn't well suited to the music, and I felt that he was much better in Act 2 than he was in Act 1. So, there you have it. Overall, though, I really enjoyed seeing Evita. I think that it's a really cool production. I really love that it is going out on an international tour, and if it's coming near you, I definitely would recommend to go and see it. Moving on, I got to go see Kinky Boots, also through a friend of mine, who was able to get me a ticket for free. So I love Kinky Boots. I've actually seen it twice on Broadway and once on the US tour. Now I'm quite spoiled because if you don't already know from watching my videos, Killian Donnelly is my favorite actor, and I got to see him as Charlie Price on Broadway. I also have seen J. Harrison Ghee as Lola twice on the US tour and then again on Broadway, and Jay is definitely my favorite Lola of all time. I don't think anyone could ever top him, partially because he actually comes from a background of doing drag, so I think that he lends an authenticity to the Lola. He seems very comfortable in all the drag parts, so I think it's hard for anyone to top him for me, but I was actually really impressed with this current cast. Now, the staging here in London is the exact same staging basically as the Broadway version because they are replica productions of each other, so that's nice. It also is kind of cool to see it because it is set in the UK, so it was kind of nice not to have a whole bunch of Americans attempting British accents, because sometimes on Broadway and on the US tour you do get a bit dodgy with the accents, so that was also kind of a cool thing in comparison. Okay, so I do want to talk about some of the cast. Anthony Roden, I think, is the name of the Lola. He was actually really good. He was quite good at the dance bits. He has a lovely voice and also could carry off the humor really well, and I think that Lola's a really difficult part because you have to be able to sing it, you have to be able to dance it, you have to be able to act the dramatic bits, but also have a comedic humor, and I think a lot of Lolas struggle with that, with having, you know, all four of those. He was really solid in all four, but I really think he's quite good at the comedy bits as well. I saw David Hunter as Charlie. I've been really lucky with Charlies. I've seen some incredible Charlies like Killian Donnelly, of course, and then I saw Adam Kaplan on the US tour, and I'm really fond of Adam because he went to my alma mater. And I also saw a really horrible Charlie. I can't remember his name. I probably wouldn't say it anyways now that I'm saying that he's horrible. The first time that I saw it on Broadway, I was not impressed at all. So David definitely falls in between those two extremes and towards the Killian Donnelly, Adam Kaplan end. He's a really good Charlie. He manages to pull it off without seeming completely unlikable because Charlie's a really difficult character because really he's a bit of a jerk. He's hard to make likable, I find, if you don't exude likability as a person. But I thought he actually did a pretty good job with it. I also have two other people in the cast that I want to shout out. One is Verity Rushworth as Lauren. Now, Lauren is one of my favorite roles in musical theater because, I mean, obviously, I guess, like, just being, like, the geeky girl who never gets the guy, I can relate to that. But I thought that Verity really pulled off the kookiness of the character. History of Wrong Guys was really strong and really kind of a standout moment. I really looked forward to all of her bits in it, and I thought that she had really good chemistry with David Hunter as Charlie, so high praise for her. The last person I want to give a shout out to is Jordan Fox, who is actually, I know, the Charlie cover, but also he plays Harry, which if you're not familiar with it, that's the name of the friend of Charlie's that sings with him on Take What You Want. And he was just really strong on that. I'm kind of used to that character being kind of like a throwaway bit where you're like, okay, please shut up, I want to hear the Charlie sing. But he had a really strong voice on that part. He pulled it off really well, and I would love to see him at some point as Charlie. Alright, so basically 2 thumbs up for Kinky Boots. As always, Kinky Boots is actually one of my favorite shows. I typically don't like happy shows where people don't die, but I really enjoy Kinky Boots. It's got a beautiful message, and I really recommend it to anyone who wants to see a show either here in London or in New York. So definitely check it out. You can also get tickets that aren't that expensive either on their own website or on the Today Tix app. But overall, I really enjoyed both Evita and Kinky Boots. Maybe Kinky Boots a little bit more than Evita, but I think that they're both really solid shows, and I'm really excited for everyone who gets to see them. Alright, so that's it for today's review roundup. I will have more of these coming soon. As always, let me know if you've seen either of these shows, or if you want to, or if you're booking tickets to see them. Let me know if there's anything here that you would like me to go out and review, because I am putting together my list of shows to see, and if there's something that you particularly want to hear about, I'd love to go see it and then do a review on it. Don't forget to follow me on social media at NicoleAckman16 and to read my blogs. I have a theater blog, www.flowercrownsandrevolutionaries.blogspot.com, and I also have a blog about my time in London, which is www.sailingoftolondon.wordpress.com, and yes, that's an Angelica Schuyler reference. Other than that, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel for more theater content coming soon. And also, if you want to get notified whenever I put a new video out, you can click the little bell icon down below and you'll get a little notification on your phone and your computer. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye! You take aim, take your shot. Sometimes you gotta rewrite the plot. You gotta take what you've got.